We know that we should exercise. We know that we should move our bodies. And did you catch that little word should in there? Sometimes it becomes an obligation, a thing that we sort of think about as I have to do it. I don't have time. I'm tired. I know I should. I want us to look at movement with almost the opposite perspective. And my guest today is going to help us do exactly that. Let's talk about it. Welcome to Mind Your Midlife, your go-to resource for confidence and success, one thought at a time. Unlike most advice out there, we believe that simply telling you to believe in yourself or change your habits isn't enough to wake up excited about life or feel truly confident in your body. Each week, you'll gain actionable strategies and, oh my goodness, powerful insights to stop feeling stuck and start loving your midlife. This is the Mind Your Midlife podcast. Growing up, I did not play any sports. And I always think back and wonder, should I have tried? I almost tried out for volleyball in ninth grade. I had moved to a new state, actually, and I decided I was going to reinvent myself. But in the end, I just was not into being athletic. And I was, though, kind of into movement, and I would walk and I would do some active things. It wasn't until I got to college and I gained a lot of weight one year that I decided I better start exercising a little bit more. And it's gone up and down over the years. What has made me really think about this during my 50s, where I am now, is watching someone from the older generation of my family go through a chronic disease for which they told her the best thing you can do for yourself is exercise, because you need to move your body and keep your muscles moving, toned, working, or you will lose them even faster. And while I don't have that chronic disease, and you probably don't either, that still applies to us. Kind of a move it or lose it perspective. We might lose our muscle tone or our strength faster if we don't use it. And again, I'm headed down this path of you need to do it. You should do it, aren't I? I feel like we sometimes resist things that feel like an obligation in that way. So, luckily, Erika Shannon is joining me today. She is a fitness and wellness industry expert and has been for 2 decades. She helps women on the menopause journey to optimize their lives, reduce those menopause symptoms, and do that with exercise, nutrition, sleep regulation, stress management, self-care. So we're going to talk exercise in midlife. Welcome, Erika.
Thank you so much. It's so nice to be here. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I am excited to talk to you about this because it's something that is a question. These are questions I'm always asking myself. Let me put it that way. So I know that the topic of midlife fitness is really a powerful one for you. So tell us how you decided to focus quite a bit on that area.
A couple reasons. The first reason was I'm going through it myself. I'm 49 and perimenopausal, and my body started to change. The way I moved started to change, started to feel different. And so that was the first thing that made me want to kind of focus on this. But the second thing was I noticed in my work in the fitness industry and streaming fitness a few years ago that there really wasn't a lot of targeted fitness content for women of a certain age.
Mm.
And it kind of jumps from the hyper high impact, hit, aggressive, really, really hard cardio and, boot camps and all that
Yeah.
to chair yoga. Like there was nothing in between. And I was like, wait a second, this doesn't make any sense. And so I Every 2 years for my fitness certification, I have to get continued education credits. And I started a few years ago just amassing certifications. One was in understanding hormones, one was programming for the female client. I'm a heart rate performance specialist. And I got just kind of like fell into it. And there was a certification that I read about. It was a certified menopause specialist
Hmm.
certification. And I was like, I want to do that. And I had it was in my periphery for about 6 months, and it was an expensive certification, and it was very involved. And I was like, well, do I really want to go into this? Is this really what I want to do next? Like, and then I just kept thinking about it and thinking about it. And it was honestly the best certification I've ever done in my 20 years in the fitness industry. It taught me so much, not just about what happens to our bodies when we lose our hormones, but how to safely usher women like us into this next phase of life, because there's so much prevention that we have to deal with now, and there are
Hmm.
so many things that we can prevent to make us have a longer health span. We already have a longer lifespan than men, but our health span tends to be shorter. So as I watch my parents and my husband's mother go through aging and osteoporosis and dementia and all those things, I'm reading and realizing and studying that so many of these things can be prevented, and lots of them through movement and fitness. And so that's kind of where we're at now. And it's really fulfilling to work in this field.
Fascinating. And I have about 17 questions from what you just said. So let's see where we go.
Let's go.
I'm interested that you said that women tend to have a longer lifespan, which we all, I think, know that statistic,
Yeah.
but a shorter health span. I never really thought about that. Is that really statistically a pattern?
Yes. So if you look at women who have dementia or Alzheimer's, the percentage of women versus men that have that neurodegenerative disease, it's like 70% are women.
Wow.
Um, Osteoporosis and osteopenia are two other things. There's a ridiculous statistic, and I don't want to say the wrong thing. I can't remember exactly what it is, but it's something along the lines of 1 in 3 women will have an osteoporotic bone fracture in the later part of their life, and that just opens the door to so many other risks, because you have to end up in the hospital, you have to have surgery, it opens you to sepsis and infection and so many other things that can end up killing you. So or completely rendering you immobile. So if you can't move and you have, and your brain is deteriorating, then your health span is shorter.
Yeah,
And so
absolutely.
we also die of cardiovascular disease. Number one killer of women is cardiovascular disease.
And that I did know, and I don't think most people know that actually, because you hear
Right.
about men having heart attacks from the stress of their job or whatever, but
Hmm.
you don't hear about women so much. Yeah.
I know. I know. But what happens is when we lose our estrogen, it affects every organ system in our body, and it makes our cholesterol go higher. The protection, estradiol is a very protective hormone. And so when we lose it, we lose the benefits of it. It's very protective of our heart health, of our skin, of our brain health. And so without that, the LDL just goes up, the HDL goes down, triglycerides go up, our sugar tolerance is all over the place, and it can really affect us in a bad way.
Cholesterol. Oh my goodness.
My cholesterol is so high right now. My doctor I'm a certified fitness professional and menopause coach specialist, and I color inside the lines. I'll tell you that right now. And my doctor's like, "Have you been eating really badly lately or something?" And I'm like, "No, I haven't changed anything." And I hear this from a lot of clients all the time. They're like, "I have changed
Me.
nothing." Yeah, you too. I've changed
Yes.
nothing about my diet, and yet my cholesterol's through the roof, and I'm pre-diabetic. I'm like, "What?" Doesn't make any sense. So that's where hormone therapy comes in, but that's another conversation.
It is another conversation, but I did not know the cholesterol thing because yeah, my doctor I don't think believes me that I'm a healthy eater and I'm a really healthy eater because
Yeah.
my cholesterol is getting a little bit higher. Wow. Okay.
Mhm.
Let me focus. So the other thing is, I kind of chuckled when you said chair yoga, and I feel like I have to just say, if you're listening, I'm not making fun of chair yoga. It's important. My mom did it when she was dealing with mobility issues, but I see your point that there's got to be something between that and high intensity somewhere in the middle.
Just because we're aging doesn't mean we have to sit down. We have there's so much we can do and should do because we have to protect our lean muscle mass and our bone density, both of which go down during menopause.
Yeah.
So and we have to take care of our cardiovascular health as well. And we have to take care of our stress levels. And so how do we do that? Fitness and movement.
So I want you to list those again, because what I was about to ask you is, what are the key goals? If we're going to talk about exercising, we know we're supposed to exercise. What is it that we really need to exercise for? And so I want you to just list those again, because I think you just said that.
Yeah, well, we want to exercise for bone density. We want to exercise for lean muscle mass. We want to exercise for a healthy heart. And the way to do that is through functional movement training, moderate intensity cardiovascular training, and yeah, go high cardio a couple times a week for a little bit of time, but don't spend most of your time there. We have a mentality as women of this age, I think, where more is more, and we have to go as hard as we possibly can to get results. That is not true. And at our age, we need to be selective about when we push really hard because our stress response is thrown off by our hormones as well. So if we are constantly in an anaerobic state, it's very stressful on the body, and that is going to actually hinder us from weight loss and hinder us from feeling calm and refreshed and rested. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So what we focus on is functional movement for sure. Thinking about health span again. The things that we need to do to function in this world are push, pull, squat, hinge, carry, and rotate.
Okay.
And so those are the 6 things that we need to be able to do to live life as an active human being in this world.
Yeah.
And so when I work with my clients, I make sure that they are getting that form of movement as well. And then integrating healthy cardio. And if you are trying to lose weight in menopause, then you want to err on the side of more cardio and, with a lot of strength training in there. But again, calories in, calories out, yada, yada, yada.
You got
It's
to
still
do
true.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, what happens if someone is really, I talk about walking all the time. Walking is very good, but what if they're only walking or they're only doing whatever cardio they like? I'm sure they're getting some benefit, but not.
For sure. Walking is amazing. I would say if you're walking a lot, walk as fast as you possibly can. Walk brisk is better always. So push yourself, push your heart rate, and the impact of walking is really good for bone density as well.
Okay.
So that's great.
Okay.
But there are a ton of exercises that you can do that are body weight only that you can integrate into a warm up before you walk, for example.
Did you catch the Secret Podcast miniseries in September about how to move through a job change you didn't want? If you missed it, it's still there on Patreon and Substack. And coming in October, our Secret Podcast miniseries will be all about how to actually appreciate your body in midlife. I'll see you there. Patreon.com/mindyourmidlife or mindyourmidlife.substack.com. Okay. And the squat thing, I definitely agree with you on. I've been working on knee pain, so I'm realizing that I better, in my mid-50s now, I better get on this and I better make sure I can do it, because I know if I don't do it, I'm probably going to lose it, right?
If you don't use it, you lose it. That's so true.
Yeah. So you said push, pull, rotate, squat, and what are the other two?
Hinge.
Hinge.
And carry. So hinging at your hips.
Yes. Okay.
And carrying. Grip strength is very important.
Okay. Yeah.
And there are a lot of articles out there talking about how grip strength is an indicator of mortality, which is crazy. which makes me nervous because I have really poor grip strength. I'm working on it, but it's when you think about carrying groceries or carrying something from one place to another, a suitcase or a duffel bag,
Yeah.
pick up a weight or a kettlebell and just walk around with it for a little while. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to have fancy equipment for this kind of stuff, you know?
Okay. Okay. Yeah, and my husband used to do CrossFit, and they used to do what was maybe called a farmer's carry or something, when
Uh-huh.
they would carry heavy stuff and walk
Yes,
around.
that's exactly right. Yes, that's it. That's it.
Okay. Okay.
Farmers picking up big jugs of cow's milk and stuff. That's exactly what we're talking about. Functional movement.
Yeah.
And rotate, of course, is anything where you're rotating your spine.
Yeah, I'm
Hmm.
not sure I practiced that one either. It does feel like these things would be easy to do in kind of our own little routine. I like that.
Hmm.
On the topic of walking, you did mention the impact. I have heard people say that that's not enough impact and we should be stomping around or jumping or running if we can.
I mean, it really depends on you and what your body is doing. If you do have osteoporosis, I would talk to your doctor before starting any super high impact exercise. But jumping, like jumping jacks or jumping rope, it's so good for bone density, and you need it. So
Mhm.
putting a little impact into your workout, even if you walk for a minute and run for 20 seconds, or just integrate skipping. Even skipping has impact to it.
Oh, I love skipping. I think I might feel a bit silly in the neighborhood, but I love skipping.
But isn't it fun to be playful too?
Yeah.
We're in our midlife, but we're not dead. We might as well. I'll tell you, this morning I just moved to a new house in a new neighborhood in a new city, and I joined the rec center, which is in our community, and it's really amazing. And this morning, I was like, "Oh, my muscles hurt. I've been doing a lot of power washing and unpacking," and so I was like, "There's a hot tub at the rec center. I'm going to go to the rec center. I'm going to sit in the hot tub." So I went to the hot tub. I felt so great. And then they don't have a cold plunge, but they do have an indoor pool. So I went into the indoor pool, and there is a lazy river in the indoor pool. And I just like went around and around floating and kicking and doggy paddling and swimming and side stroking. And it was so much fun. It was just like very playful for me. And I think that we need to integrate more playful movement into our lives because it does bring us joy. So that's my cue too for you, is like do something that you like. Do something that's fun or adventurous. If you like to hike, if you like nature, get outside, there's just, it's fun, and do it with your kids, and play, and who cares what people are thinking about you. Like, I was by myself, a 49-year-old woman, and there was like a little guppies class going on the other end of the pool. I was like, wee, like, who
I
cares?
love it. I
Yeah.
love it. That such a powerful mindset message, really, because even doing this podcast, and I've done episodes about laughter. Fun is really important. I totally agree with you on that. But sometimes we get so serious. We're like, now we have to do this and we have to think this way, you know?
I just read an article about the importance of having hobbies at our
Mhm.
age, and
Mm,
doing things that are just creative and fun with no payback, just to give ourselves a little escape. And I just love that idea. And I think that we can incorporate movement in so many fun ways in that way.
I love that.
It's
All
also
right.
great to build relationships and community, which is also so important at our age and just
Yes.
brings us joy. Hmm.
Yes. Now, if you're listening and you're willing to skip around your neighborhood, get somebody to take a picture or a video of you and share it with me on social media. I'm going to give you a challenge.
I love this. I love this. And when this comes out, I'm going to challenge my community to do it too.
Yeah, I mean, it's hilarious. I will do it. I will feel silly, but I will do it. So, yes, perfect. We're all skipping. Um,
Feeling silly is the best part, because when you're done, you're like, oh, that wasn't so bad. And I laughed at myself.
yeah,
And then you
exactly.
get braver.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I love it. Okay, so related to this, I put out to my Patreon community that I was going to be talking to you and asked them what would they ask. And
Hmm.
Jill came up with a good question that I'm not sure I would have thought of. And that is, okay, so we're going to work out. do we
Mhm.
need to fuel differently before or after, I'm going to say, now than when we were younger when we work out?
The short answer is no.
Okay.
There's a lot of talk right now about creatine and high protein this and that, and I do these things called meno parties where I'll have a guest expert on, and I had a nutritionist and dietitian on a couple weeks ago, and I asked her about creatine, and she's like, "Listen, unless you're training for the Olympics or a marathon or you're a professional bodybuilder, you don't need creatine to like put on a weighted vest and walk around the park. Like you don't. It's great for recovery. It does help you with muscle recovery, but like just think about what you're doing, and honestly, a balanced diet that makes you feel energized is great. I would say there have been some studies coming out about fasted cardio and how there's really not a lot of evidence, like scientifically backed evidence against the benefits of fasting before working out. If you don't feel good working out after eating breakfast, then just don't. But
Mm.
the most important thing is to listen to yourself. But to answer Jill's question, no, you don't need to do anything different in midlife. Just, I think in midlife, what you really want to focus on overall and unrelated to fitness is increasing your protein, fiber, and hydration. When you eat more fiber, you need more water. So you want to make sure that that goes hand in hand. And fiber really is kind of your best friend in this situation, as well as protein.
So I'm glad you're bringing up fiber because protein, I definitely know and agree. Obviously, fiber is good, but I hadn't thought of it in exactly this way. And I will link to an episode I did on hydration because I agree that's a big deal. And we talked on that episode. I had a guest for that as well. She talked about making sure we had electrolytes so we could actually absorb the water and the power of
Mhm.
hydration. So, yes, go find that in the show notes and listen to that one too. Okay, I like that's kind of the three protein, fiber, and hydration. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, so this is a two-part question, sort of, because I don't want to stress anyone out who's listening. But what is, in your opinion, because I know there'd be varying opinions about this, the ideal amount of exercise for someone in their 40s and 50s to do maybe in a week? And what if that's daunting? What do you suggest someone do who just wants to get started?
The goal is 150 minutes of exercise a week. So it's like, 30 minutes a day.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to incorporate both strength training, cardiovascular training, and recovery in that 150 minutes. Recovery can be Tai Chi, it can be stretching, mobility work,
Mm.
um, active recovery. So there's passive recovery like massage, cold plunge, acupuncture, and then there's active recovery, which is your stretching and gentle yoga. Regular yoga or like power yoga is not recovery. Yoga
Mm.
is very difficult and
Yes, it is.
it is very good for strengthening your body. It's the perfect body weight strength workout if you're doing certain kinds of yoga, but like yin yoga or yoga that is recovery based or um, low intensity, that is a great recovery as well.
Okay, I like that that goes into it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So again, based on what your goals are and based on what you enjoy, I would start with what you like
Hmm.
because, and this is to answer the second part of your
Hmm.
question. Start with what you like because you are more likely to continue
Yeah.
if you do. So if you like to do Zumba or you like to dance or you like nature or you like to go swimming, start there and do something that you like. And then you can incorporate maybe making that longer or doing it 2 days instead of one day. Work with yourself and be nice to yourself. Something that I always tell my clients is it's not an all or nothing situation, it's all or something. All or something. I will tell you completely confession time. Yesterday was the first day that I have set foot in the gym for probably a month.
Wow.
But I have just moved into this house and cannot tell you how physically exhausted I am from walking up and down stairs, carrying heavy boxes. Yesterday I was like, why are my forearms so sore? I was power washing. Like there are a lot of things, gardening. Those things they count as movement. They count, and if you get your heart rate up while doing something like that, it counts. So don't underestimate your everyday movement, and then incorporate other stuff. So if you are doing laundry and you're like right now, my dryer is up high, so I'm going to do a squat and then lift it up. And instead of maybe trying to get it all in one thing, I'll do one article of clothing at a time, and then all of a sudden I've got 20 squats in.
Huh.
Psych yourself out, like completely psych yourself out. Don't like play a game with it. we are
Yeah.
meant to we are meant to live life fully in our bodies, and so why not just play? And we're all busy at this
Yep.
age. We're taking care of our kids, we're taking care of our parents, we're working full time, we're insane. So sometimes those movement snacks and those little habit stacking things are the way that we get our workout in that week.
I love that. I don't think I would have thought to add squats into something I'm doing during the day, and that's a great
hmm
idea.
Yeah, and you can even alternate squatting and hinging with that, right?
Uh-huh.
Because you can squat with your legs, or you can soften your knees, hinge at your hips, and pick something up, right? So
Ah,
now you're getting two functional movements in by changing the laundry.
love it.
Kind of nice.
Love it. Yes.
And if you put it to the side, then you can get rotation in.
Oh my goodness.
Do you want me to come and live with you? I'll just tell you all day long.
Yes, you have to come and follow me around and tell me how to add movement.
Yeah, we overthink it. We
Yeah.
overthink it.
Yeah.
It's really so much simpler than we think.
What would you say to someone who is sitting in a chair all day working on the computer? How could they add in some movement?
I would definitely say set a timer to get up every hour and do 10 squats or 20 squats, or take a walk up and down some stairs. There was a study done recently that standing up and doing 10 squats once an hour lowers your blood sugar as much as taking a full walk after a meal. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So it really does make a difference. So
Wow.
I know that the Apple Watch has one of those like time to stand
Yes.
notifications.
Yes.
Get one of those. And or there are so many free things, movement, and they also have hydration reminder apps and stuff like that. And again, stack it. Like for me, I like to every hour I'll get up, I'll go downstairs, I'll get a drink, I will play with my dog for a couple minutes, and then I'll come back up, or I'll take her for a walk and come back up. I'm learning in my new space how to
Yeah.
manage that, but you just have to trick yourself into it.
And even someone who's at the office could certainly get up, walk down the hall, go up and down the stairs, something like that. Maybe not squats at your desk, I guess, but
No, I mean, no. But you could stand by the wall and just give yourself a stretch and a calf stretch. You could do some wall push-ups if you're in a quiet space and nobody's looking. I mean, or you see if you can take walking meetings. So many people work from home, and I don't think people necessarily take advantage of the walking meeting. I love a walking meeting
mm,
because we don't need to be on Zoom all the time. Sometimes if we have a call, we can be like, hey, can we do this on the phone? I would love to do a walking meeting. Why don't we take a walk while we do this together?
huh, I like it.
Easy.
And my professional hardworking self is thinking, well, how would I take notes? Well, maybe you record the meeting and then you go back to it
Yep.
later if you need it. Huh,
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Mm-hmm. You can totally record.
Interesting.
It just depends on how you work. You can always figure it out. Everything is so figure outable with trying to incorporate this kind of stuff into your everyday life, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
Which is wonderful. And it does go against our beliefs, our old school beliefs that, like, if I'm not in a cycling class for 45 minutes, it doesn't count. Or if I'm not breaking a sweat and huffing and puffing, it wasn't good enough. No, it's not
Mm-hmm.
true. I
Mm-hmm.
will say, pick up some heavy stuff. Pick up
Okay.
heavy weights when you can. Do heavy weights. It is so good for you. And you're
Wow.
not going to bulk up like we all thought in the 90s. It's not
Yeah.
going to happen. Again, unless you're training for the Olympics, it's not going to happen.
Right. Okay. Great, great, great tips. And I asked that question because I know how I think, and I know there must be other people who think this way for sure. And that is that sometimes I'm like, 150 minutes, like no way. So whatever, I just am not going to do it. It's not going to make a
Yeah.
difference whatever I do. And clearly that's not true.
Yeah. Because if you think of 150 minutes, that's a lot of minutes. But if you think of, I want to work out 4 days. Okay. So 4 days at 30 minutes,
Yeah,
that's good,
it is good.
right? It's
Yeah.
120 minutes or 4 days at 25 minutes or just start somewhere. If you're not doing anything right now, 4 days at 10 minutes, start there.
Yeah.
Because the more you move, the more you're going to want to. I always tell my clients when they don't feel like working out, and I never feel like working out. It's like, just start. Just get on
Yeah.
the mat. Just start doing your warm up. Just press play on one of my workouts on my platform and do the warm up. And I guarantee you that once you're through the warm up, you're going to be like, well, I'm already here. I'm already on the mat. I might as well pick up my weights and finish this 30-minute workout.
Hmm.
I used to play games with myself working out from home on my own that I'm like, okay, I'm going to go to 10 minutes. And then I get to 10 minutes and like, okay, I'm going to make it to 13 minutes, you know?
Yeah.
And then a good song comes on. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go to the end of this song. And before you know it, I've worked out longer than I would have.
Yeah. And I'll tell you the game I play with myself. I don't like to wear shoes at home.
Mm. Hmm.
I guess it's partly a cleanliness thing. I just don't like to wear shoes. And so putting on the shoes to work out became this big thing. I didn't want
An
to put my
obstacle?
shoes on. Yes. And so I found things I could do without putting my shoes on. And there was that barrier gone. So yeah, I got creative.
I really like working out without shoes on. You see a lot of people doing heavy lifting and kettlebell workouts and barbell workouts with socks on
Really.
because you can really use the muscles in your feet to balance and feel
Mm.
the floor and distribute your weight. It's really grounding.
Mm.
If you're lifting something super heavy and you're afraid you're going to drop it on your foot, I would suggest shoes. But if you are doing, I do a lot of my workouts on my platform Move and Win in socks or barefoot because it just feels good.
Hmm.
And I encourage if we're going to be doing some high impact or jumping, I always say like, I have shoes on today for this workout because we're jumping a little bit, but use your judgment. You can totally do what you want.
Yeah. Just kind of take away the physical or the mental barriers. Absolutely.
I think the overarching theme is give yourself more credit for what you can do.
Yeah. And that's why this podcast is mindset oriented. We're talking about all these things that make a difference in midlife, but so much of it comes from what we're telling ourselves about what anything we do or don't do means and whether we're worthy of whatever we should be doing, and just all that kind of stuff is directing us so much.
Yeah, I used to be a member of Weight Watchers back in the day, and I had a leader that would say, stop shooting all over yourself.
Mhm. Yep.
It keeps you stuck. And I was like, shooting all over yourself, that's really good. And it's so true. I think about that all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
And so it helps then to kind of switch it to, well, what would I actually enjoy, and start there. I like that idea.
Movement should not be a punishment. It should be an
Yes.
adventure or a self-discovery.
Yes.
And it's great for your confidence.
Yeah. That's a great point because our bodies are changing, in
Hmm.
some more than others, some more stressed about it than others, and
Yeah,
confidence. Wow. Yeah, that's a big deal.
really big deal.
Let me just pause here and ask you to tell us, where can people find you, learn more about what you do, and connect with you?
My website is erikashannon.com. It's Erika with a K. And on my website, I have a few different options. So, option number one is to work out with me. I have a platform called Move and Win because my tagline is if you're moving, you're winning.
Love it.
So, my So my platform is called Move and Win. I drop a new workout every single week, and I have workouts that are focused in cardio, strength, recovery, menopause specific, which is really great. The menopause workouts, I will add a little bit more breath work or pelvic activation at the beginning. We do a longer warm up, for example. There's just some slight differences. And that is an option to work out with me. I also have an online community that is not on social media, it's members only. And we share resources. I do flash coaching and things like that. And then I also have a group and private coaching options for a menopause coach.
Awesome.
And then on Instagram, Erika Shannon Movement is where I am everywhere. So Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Erika Shannon Movement. On my YouTube channel, I do post videos of past menopause parties with experts and stuff like that, and any links to anything else that I do out
Awesome.
in the world. Yeah.
Awesome. I will make sure that all that is in the show notes. So if you're listening right now, just scroll down, go find it.
Thanks.
Part of it is just making this easy because, again, it takes away a barrier that we talk ourselves out of doing it. So I love that you're doing that.
For sure. I send a weekly email out to my subscribers, and basically it's just I talk a little bit about what's going on in the world of menopause and fitness, and I drop whatever the workout is for the week there.
Perfect.
I will mention one more thing.
Yeah.
If people go to my website, there is a pop up that will show up to get a free 10-day email course, a menopause crash course, where it just links to videos of me talking about all the different things about menopause. It's totally free. Grab it. Just join my mailing list to get it.
Excellent. Okay. So as we sort of get to the wrap up here, I always say, I'm sure people are listening and they're, doing their laundry. Maybe they're squatting while doing it, or they're driving the car, walking around the neighborhood, whatever they're doing. And it's hard to remember everything from what we talked about. So if somebody is listening and is thinking, what do I need to remember? What's your kind of overarching OMG, this is the key thing to remember from this episode?
If you're moving, you're winning.
Yeah.
If you're moving, you're winning. Every single thing you do in movement is good for your health, period.
And we're so tempted to be stuck on our phones and probably not moving, or sitting in front of the TV and binge watching something. Not that any of those things are inherently bad, but it's so easy not to move at all.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Yes.
Okay, well, Erika, I've learned a ton from you, so I know that anybody listening will have as well. Movement. Just movement. And I have to tell you, prior to having this discussion that we've just had with Erika, I did not foresee us going in the direction of having fun. And isn't that just flipping amazing? Number one, everybody needs more fun in their lives. Everybody, probably everybody. And number two, we have enough obligations at this point in life. And we have that little voice in our heads telling us all about the difficulties and the mistakes and the things that might happen that wouldn't be great. Let's let movement and exercise be a completely separate thing that is fun. Find something that is fun for you. Now, for me, that lately has been Zumba. I've been trying Zumba on an app at home. You might have already heard me say that I go to bar class and I walk, but in the summer, which is at the time I'm recording this, I don't love walking outside because it's hot. So I've been trying Zumba and I love to dance. For you, it might be something completely different. I love her perspective that we should just have fun. And I was serious about the skipping challenge. Go outside. It can be in a public street in your neighborhood. I guess it could be in your garage. I don't know. I want you to do a video of yourself skipping and send it to me on social media. Find me at Cheryl P. Fisher on Instagram, on TikTok, on Facebook. Find Mind Your Midlife podcast and send me a video, and I will make a little reel out of them. I will share them. I think, hey, let's start a skipping movement. Why not. And here's a fun piece of news for our Patreon and Substack subscribers. Erika created a free functional workout. Remember the push, pull, 6 items that we need to work on in menopause? She created a free workout just for us. So make sure you grab that on Patreon or Substack when you subscribe. And in the meantime, slow down. Maybe take a deep breath. Notice what's going on in your head, what's going on around you. And let's create something amazing.